Hey, hello, what's up, guys? Yes, it's me again. I came back to my YouTube video because it's the next day, right? And then, well, the video I posted yesterday, I started out with nothing in my mind, what I was gonna talk about. But today, there's something that I wanna talk about. So let me talk about this, right? So one thing that I was so excited about was that, and after I started to trying to learn English again, last February, February 22, since then I'm trying to learn English again, but there's something that I was so excited about. That was that word English brain or 英語の, right? Because when I was young, when first time in my life I was trying to learn English, there's no such a thing, such a word as English brain or 英語の. Right, because when I was younger, and because of the way that I tried to learn English, I had this so-called English brain, and I knew that English brain existed in my head. Maybe after 3 months or so, since I started to learn English, I'm talking about when I was young, right? So yes, after 3 months of trying to learn English, I got this feeling that something changed in my brain, and I got this English brain thing in my head, and I could feel that. But back then there's not so many people thinking that way, learning English, and then there's also that there's no well, maybe it existed, but at least no one knows about this the English words or thing that 英語の or English brain, right? So at that time I was so even though I was trying to tell my friend that I have this feeling that I have something, I had a brain, part of my brain just for the English language, and then if I try to speak in English or try to listen to English, it's kind of like this part of my brain is just understanding that English without any translation or anything directly, just yes, that's something that I felt back then. But as I said, again, no one knows, no one actually don't get it, and if I try to explain it, but because there's no word, English brain also that at the same time, I think that not so many people thinking that way back then, but I don't know. But anyway, I was kind of like, I feel very alone, because even though I try to explain to everybody, my friends or teacher, they just don't get it. And what are you talking about? This kind of way, they just reacted to my my story, right? But now, because not everybody, but at least so many people, especially that English learners, or maybe it is true also that other foreign language learners, but they just they understand this idea of English brain, right? So I was so excited. Wow, finally I could talk about this to someone without it being very weird, because not everyone know that this a lot of people understand this idea of English brain, right? So yes, well, anyway, yes, I think that I don't remember exactly, but maybe after 3 months or so, I thought that I got this feeling that there's something, maybe this English brain was created in my brain, when I was younger. It's, I think 2 or 3 months. Yes, I believe so. I got this feeling that I got this English brain. So yes, once I got the English brain, it was much easier for me to try to learn English, because I don't have to translate or anything. I just kind of like kind of like, for example, like if I reading a book, I don't translate, right? Like novels. If I reading it, it's kind of like, my brain is kind of like understanding the English word sentences directly without any translation, and at the same time, kind of like, my brain is converting this, sentences in a book, writing into like, kind of like converting to that, well, I would say that when I try to read, my brain always making that sentences, or trying to visualizing, every time. So like when I reading a story, a novel, instead of trying to, instead of translating in my head, that's directly the English sentence is coming to like a picture in a movie, so if I reading while I'm reading the book, it's kind of like a watching, or like seeing or watching the movie. That scene will come up to my head, and then yes, that's how I understand the English, and I think that is that that is English brain, I think. Yes, so yeah. So I think that yes, in my case, I thought that once I get this English brain, everything was much easier for me to try to learn English, because I don't have to translate or anything. So I kind of like even though I came up, if I bump into encounter or English word I don't understand, I cannot try to automatically my brain trying to understand that word that I don't understand, in that context, right? So yes, instead of trying to logically understand English, I kind of like always trying to visualize everything, and that's how my English brain was developed, I think. So yes, I think that well, maybe this is not for everybody, but in my case, once I got this English brain, it was much easier. So I think that this is something that you might wanna try, especially that you are beginner of the English, so that once you get this English brain, I think it's much easier for you to keep on just yes, I think yes, that's what I think, what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, yes, that's how yeah, that's that story about my story about the English brain. And then yes, as I said, I'm so excited about it, because if I say English brain, everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's good. Oh wow. Anyway, yes, thank you very much for watching my YouTube video, and then I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.